plenty of doom and gloom surrounding Dundee at the moment. Also a fair few doom and gloom surrounding Capello Park today. I seem to remember some cheerleaders here last season. None today. Reasons to be positive though for Dundee today. 5 wins out of 5 against Morton last season. And also Dundee's last competitive win came against Morton. Let's forget that came back in August. Eric Payton scoring the goal that day, and Eric Payton plays again today. 3 changes from the team that went down poorly to Ross County last weekend. Freddie Dakan, Antoine Courier and David O'Brien have come in for Dundee. Dropping out of the Dundee starting lineup, Brian Deasley, Mark Gilhaney, both of them on the bench, and Paul McHale, after picking up a knock in training, drops out of the squad completely. Also a very notable change on the bench for Dundee today. And then for Morton, they picked up their first league win of the season last season, a victory against Clyde. Former Dundee striker James Grady scoring the only goal. They've made 1 change, Alan Jenkins coming in and Masterton dropping out of the 16 for Morton. So Dundee maybe in transition. They've got a chance here to rack up another 3 points. A good record against Morton, since Morton were promoted up to the first division. And they'll be hoping it continues today. Kicking off at Capello, both teams having to contend with the win today. The ball immediately knocked up high, doesn't seem to be holding up in the air too much at all. And here's Eric Payton getting his first foot on the ball, score of that winning goal back in August for Dundee. That last win eventually costing Alex Freya's job. It's Payton, short into Dakan. Scott Davidson outside him here, Dakan, as it runs forward. Ball breaks to Davidson in the end. And now Payton in the box and just kind of got the ball off his knee. And now Grady getting into it, knocking the ball long, and Weatherston's after it, but he's not quick enough for Rob Douglas. And Payton, despite being put under a bit of pressure by James Grady there, lets the ball run out to play rather coolly. It's McEwen. The long throw looking for Gilhaney, back in the starting lineup today after missing out last week. Fully recovered from his international exploits. And hopefully with a bit of confidence about him as well. 4 goals for Guadeloupe and 1 last week for Dundee in the defeat to Ross County. Dakan just loses out and is knocked long, and Williams has to be quick. And given away, and here's McGuffey. And his ball's broken off. It's out for a throw-in, and Jim McAllister's going across to take it. Bit of a tricky player, Jim McAllister. Seems to have a long throw in him as well. Have to watch he doesn't have to slip under foot here, Jim McAllister. Very slippy at Capello today. Knocked away by Poshnak, and so O'Brien and McGregor running after it, and McGregor just lets it run out. Packed over in that far stand here at Capello. Mainly due to the rain rather than the demand for tickets. It's another long throw in. Williams and Malone collided there, but the Dundee defence eventually gets the ball away. Poshnak up for the header. And O'Brien's got it in the end, and ball broke off McGregor into the arm of O'Brien. Just play on. See a free kick to Morton then on the far side, just over the halfway line. McGregor's going to take. Gratian's up there in the box, making a nuisance of himself with Payton. And the ball's aimed at Gratian, but Douglas easily claims that. And Freddie will have to watch out here because Douglas has thrown it out quick. Now here's Dakan running forward up against McAllister, and Dakan's nipped it past him. And Dakan just gets there before the ball runs out, but he couldn't get any kind of contact on the ball, and just runs out in the end. Kevin Cuthbert in the Morton goal. Former St Johnstone player will be looking to get a win over Dundee today. Jenkins just holds off O'Brien, but Morton's attack doesn't come to much. Douglas aiming again at Dakan. Loses out this time to Smith. And Courier is getting tugged all but over the back by Shimon, but the free kick's gone out the other way. Referee says Courier was backing in. Although, well, Courier's still holding his head. Seems to be okay. Looks to be an interesting tussle between Dominique Shimon and Antoine Courier. Both of them very strong. So headed in, and McEwen has to be wary of Grady running in behind him, and just in the end opts to knock it himself. Gracian's having to hold off Davidson here, and just knocks it off Davidson. Ball doesn't go out. Then back to Cuthbert, who seems to miss kick it a bit, and Shimon's got it now in the back area. Nice Smith. Dakan putting him under pressure. Now McAllister nips inside Payton. Dodds comes across though well. Now Courier drops down deep. Davidson. And possibly a trip from behind. Play on. Payton's knocked it into the box. Now here's Dakan, forced out wide by Shimon. Lays it off, and now here's Payton. Aim to get the ball in. It's knocked out, but not very convincingly. Here's O'Brien. Gets it out to Malone. Little short ball inside, looking for the run of Courier, but easily blocked out. Now Williams looks for Courier, battling with Gratian. Breaks to Dodds now. Now here's Davison, who's got turns, and it's coming back. The Morton defence mops it up well. Davison just wanted a bit too much time on it. McGregor's knocked it up to Malone, who's just skewed that over into that far side. It's going to be a Morton throw. Both sides seem to be coping well with the wind so far. It's really blowing a gale down towards Rab Douglas's goal at the moment. And McEwen slices that one out for throwing on this near side. Just comes up with us in the main stand here. Smith tried to take a quick throw in there, but no one giving him the options. Now Grady in the end, and comes off Payton. There's a long ball into the box, headed out by Poshnak. It's going to be a corner kick to Morton. First corner kick of the match. McAllister's going to come across to take it. Plenty of aerial threats for Morton. Gratian and Shimon coming up from the back. Grady, despite his obvious height disadvantage, is good in the air. Weatherston's in there as well. McAllister to take though. And well, the only man he picks out there is Douglas. Douglas with a throw it again. Davidson's after it. Finlayson lets him have it. And a ball goes out off the end off Davidson. And Gratian at the back. Looks composed so far, the Morton central defender. And Poshnak tussling with Finlayson. And it's out already. Couldn't keep it in. Morton again, try something from the throw-in. Nodded back. Now here's Chris Smith finding space on the near side. Aimed into the box there. Weatherston's there. And knocked up by O'Brien. Finlayson though picks it up. Now Jenkins. And he's giving a shot away to Courier. He's looking for options here, Courier. Here's Poshnak. He's the furthest man forward, though. No one's giving him the options. Davison now. O'Brien's out wide. Up against McGregor here, O'Brien. And Shimon's knocked it out. And now McAllister's got space to run into. Very open at the moment. Dodds and Payton giving McAllister a challenge. McAllister still got it. Grady. Now Finlayson. Malone's going to go down to close the angle. Comes off Malone. And it's gone behind for the corner kick. Morton exposing the gaps in the Dundee defence there. All of them going forward to support Courier. None of them back to defence. It's going to be McAllister again with the corner. Finlayson. Swung in and it's made by McGuffey. And it's deflected over. McGuffey's got plenty of goals this season already for Morton. Just couldn't quite add to his tally there. Former Gretna man. Smith with a throw-in. Knocked out. Here's Grady. Back to Smith. And it's aimed at Weatherston. And it's come off Jenkins. And it's gone behind again. Deflected behind for another Morton corner. Morton pile on the pressure. Third corner of the game. McAllister again, aiming to provide the attacking threat. And Douglas is up there again, and he's been pushed by Gratian, I think it was. Jenkins just nods that inside David O'Brien. Now Jenkins tries to get it in and cut out by Malone. Now Davidson, and tries to play a first time ball through there to Courier. Nothing was happening though. It's going to be Douglas with a ball up. This time aiming at Davidson. Gratian steps forward, nods it out. Poshnak's got it out to David O'Brien. Now Davidson, who's got a chance to shoot. Goes for goal, Davidson, and just wide. And Davidson was given time there by the Morton defence. They stood off him. He had the time. Just couldn't guide it into that bottom corner. First chance of the game though for Dundee. Dundee fans trying to get the team going. And Williams with the short free kick. And Malone aimed into the box for Courier. But never going to get that. Cuthbert claimed it easily. And he's knocked it down to Weatherston, who's getting pulled in the shirt by McEwen. Seems to be a clear pull on the shirt by Craig McEwen, but nothing doing. There's Douglas. Aimed at Courier and just couldn't get a flick on. Shimon knocks it out. Now Finlayson. O'Brien trying to give him trouble. But I think Finlayson gave himself trouble there. Tried to knock it down without looking. Malone. And Courier's nodded that on. There's no one giving him support though, but Cuthbert and McGregor seem to get a bit confused there, but worked themselves out before Davison comes over. Poshnak knocks it back. Here's Payton. Darkhand's outside him. Knocks it long to Courier. He's got the time to bring it down. Gets past the challenge. Now O'Brien. Finlayson's over there. Comes off Gratian. It's going to be a first corner kick to Dundee. Darkhand's going to go over to take. McEwen's going up to the box. Malone staying back. O'Brien's going back as well. Just McEwen and Payton off from the back. It's Dakan. McEwen just seemed to want to nod it in, but the ball was going in at the near post of the Morton defence. It's going to be Dakan again. Still just McEwen and Payton up from the back. Dakan goes a bit higher this time, nodded out by Jenkins. Dakan likes to go out for the throw-in. Dodds. Now Davidson, Poshnak's giving him support. Still going by himself, he's gone down there. Jenkins fouling him. It's going to be Courier and Payton standing over the free kick. Courier scored a goal here last season. Into the end he's facing now. Could see a Courier blaster again. Got a goal last week against Ross County, of course. Could see Payton just nodding it to the side. Now it's going to be Courier by himself. It goes for goal, and Cuthbert didn't have to move too far to get his both hands behind it. And Malone gets a good header on that over Finlayson. The rain really coming down now at Capello. It's out to Smith, and now back to Cuthbert. Williams steps forward to take it. O'Brien just Waistow wasn't sure if Williams was going to continue his run. And now Morton trying to get free. Poshnak and Dodds though combined to get away the two Canadians. And McGregor didn't waste any time there. Knocked that clear before O'Brien could get his feet onto it. And Douglas aimed at Courier, battling with Gratian. Both of them tugging each other there. Comes to O'Brien on the far side. McGregor going across now. Finlayson's there too. O'Brien gets the ball in, and it comes off the head of Shimon. And now the ball out of play. Davison couldn't get onto it. Dundee getting the cross balls in, but Morton, despite a little confusion at the first cross ball, getting themselves together at the back now. And Davidson. It's knocked off Finlayson. It's going to be another Dundee throw. Eddie Malone. Going to take it. Nobody giving him the option though at the moment. Davidson making a run now. Up against McGregor. Back to Malone, who goes for the cross ball, and he's another throw into Dundee. Eddie Malone will have to deal with wet balls with these throw-ins. Possibility of sliding out of the hand. Here comes again Eddie Malone. Again, nobody giving him the options. O'Brien and Davison trying to work something. Davison gets turned, knocks it over. Courier's there, headed out by Smith. And again by Jenkins. And Morton now complete the job. And the two Morton midfielders going for the ball there. And there's Morton midfielders all over the place. And it's Jenkins that goes down. And McEwen's the man booked. Pulled him down. And Jenkins trying to pull a fast one by moving the ball forward 10 yards. Referee on the spot where the foul was. Gratian's going to take this free kick himself rather than go forward. Knocks it, looking for Weatherston, and Malone was going to let the ball go out. Grady made him think twice. Out on the far side. Some improvised
Ball boys in that far stands get the ball back to David McGregor. And Weatherston back to McGregor. And Eddie Malone, the man who took him down, didn't really make any solid attempt to get the ball. It's going to be Finlayson rather than McAllister with this ball in. It's Finlayson. And there's nobody getting on the end of that. And it's still not gone out. Grady was at the near post. The ball fired across the Dundee goal there. Plenty of players were there to get in the end of it. Morton's first really gilt-edged chance of this first half. Courier, now Davidson. Tried getting away from McGuffey. Couldn't in the end. Decides to knock it out wide to Malone. And Finlayson knocks it into Malone's face. Grady's got it now though. And it comes off Weatherston. The ball was going out wide to McAllister. Weatherston in the way though. Now Dakan with the ball forward for Courier. Dummies it. The only man behind him though was Gratian. And it's going to be a throw into Dundee. It's going to be Payton. Dakan trying to give him an option though, but McAllister not letting him. Poshnak in the end. Payton knocks it back to Poshnak. Now the ball knocked in by Payton. Knocked out by Finlayson, and it comes to Dodds. And Shimon knocks it out, and McAllister goes down by Dakan. If that was the other end, could have been accused for diving for the penalty. In the end though, just a free kick. No harm done. Finlayson, I thought was going to bounce over him there, but he got his head to it. And Malone's dived in there with Jenkins. On another day, could have booked him there. Maybe the slippery conditions counting in Malone's favour. It's going to be McGregor with this free kick. Plenty of options in the box for him to aim at. In the end, picks for the shortest option with James Grady. He's offside anyway. Douglas aims at a Courier. Comes off Shimon though. He nods it back to his defence. Now, McGuffey, quite eager to get the ball forwards, and Williams could be accused of doing the same. Poshnak gives challenge. Now Smith, who's sliced it into this near stand. Both teams there trying to play the long ball. Both of them trying it a bit quick without really looking. McKeown, too long for Courier. Jenkins knocks it on. And McGuffey's nodded that on for Weatherston. He's offside. James Grady complaining about a knock to the head. But and McAllister's nodded that back to his own keeper, and Davidson running in there. McAllister putting his own defence under pressure. McGregor. Now Weatherston tries to link up with Grady, and Grady's nodded that straight up into the air. Three Morton defenders all there. Eventually it's out on the far side. Poshnak knocking it out. And well, Williams accused of lunging over Weatherston. And it's going to be Finlayson to take this free kick. Last free kick he took, fired across that Dundee box. 2 or 3 Morton defenders, also a few Dundee players could have knocked it into their own goal. He's got another chance here. Shimon and Gratian off from the back. The referee wants the Dundee wall back further. He's happy with him now. It's going to be Finlayson then with the free kick. And all the Dundee players run out all at once. No offside though. But now the flag goes up. Another example of the bizarre offside rule. All the Dundee players running out at once, no flag. And then about 10 seconds later, when a Morton player decides to run for it, up pops the flag. You wonder why the referee couldn't just put up his flag in the first place. Douglas up to Courier. Shimon's got his head on it again. Courier's not winning these headers against Shimon. Now Courier holding off McGuffey this time. Dodds into Poshnak. Shimon there again. So Dominic Shimon in his Morton defence looks capable. And Paytons has to watch it. Chests it down. Now Malone. It's a little chip ball, and Gratian had to stick his foot in to get there ahead of Davidson. O'Brien picks up the loose ball now. And Williams gives it away to Grady. Douglas out though, enough to watch here because it's gone into the back of the net from Peter Weatherston. The ball cannoned off David Williams. Grady ran onto it. The ball came off Douglas. He was caught out of his own box. And the ball came to Weatherston. And with Douglas out on the edge of his own area, could pick a spot in the Dundee goal. And Dundee again, the cause of their own downfall. Morton 1, Dundee 0. Now Dundee have to pick themselves up. Not having won a game since August, that game against Morton. However, there's always a however. They did win from behind here last season. Dakan to Payton. Now Dakan again. Payton, and he's given the ball away to Grady. Well, I thought he had, but Payton picks it up. Smith. And Dakan can pick it up. Gets turned against McGuffey. And knocks the ball out off McGuffey. Well, again, I thought he had. Morton throwing. McGuffey knocks it on. McAllister keeps it in. Williams. And now Williams picks the ball up on the halfway line. Comes forward with it, Williams. Now Dodds. Malone has to slide to keep that ball in. And Poshnak gets his foot in. Courier takes his time to pick his options. In the end goes for Payton, who's got plenty of space here. Dakan outside him. He's Freddy Dakan. The ball in. Davidson couldn't get his head on it. The ball seemed to slide off. Dodds. Ball breaks again to Dodds. Williams and Dodds again. Dundee struggling to find the way forward here. The Morton defence keep pushing them back. Malone. And O'Brien fouled there by David McGregor. Assistant referee wants Grady further back. He didn't move. Gratian. Now Williams. And here's O'Brien. Lets it run through. Up against McGregor. O'Brien. Now Eddie Malone. Takes a couple of touches up against Finlayson on that far side. It's got Poshnak for support. Here he is. Chip ball in, looking for Courier and knocked away by Smith. And McEwen had to wash there. Weatherston was running in behind him. Not the quickest Craig McEwen. He wouldn't win in a straight fight between those two. Oh, and possibly an elbow in the face there of Williams. Just one of those clashes. Eventually the ball pops out of that rock on the far side. And Smith again knocks it out. And the offside flag's gone up again with James Grady. Again, the assistant referee takes his time with these flags on the far side. Referee having a word for Grady. Grady frustrated, you can understand, because the flag didn't go up, so he played on. And then when the referee felt like it, up went the flag. Courier. And McGuffey improvising to get the ball away. Here's McAllister up against Payton. Forced out wide by Payton and Dakan. Dakan and Payton eventually clearing up. Payton knocks that ball long. And Gratian all over the back of Courier. Play on. Now here's Dakan. Aimed at Dodds at the far post, but McGregor appears from behind the post to nod it away. Now here's O'Brien. And Dodds. Up against Jenkins. Tries a wee trick to get past him. In the end goes for Malone. Courier's there. Shimmy knocks it away. And Jenkins knocks it out for thrown on that far side. He was facing his own goal. Didn't feel he had much options there. Safety first. Davidson. And just a bit strong for Payton. This might come for Dakan. But too strong for both of them. Smith knocks it long. It's Malone. And Courier got time to bring it down. Shimon stood off him. And now Davidson thought about a shot. Comes out to the near side to Dakan. Now Davidson again gets turned. Thought about a shot that time as well, I thought, but cross ball knocked away. Finlayson up against Dodds, and he goes down in the challenge there, Finlayson, looking for it a bit, but get no decision. The ball forward. And Malone knocks it away. Just going to run out of play on the top corner flag for throw into Dundee. Morton pushing Dundee all the way back inside their own area. Looking for a second consecutive win, Morton. Dundee, of course, 7 games without a win. Poshnak knocks it away. Davidson up against Shimin. And he's gone down, Davidson. Nothing doing. And this time Grady decides not to risk it with the offside flag. Got himself a ticking off last time he was offside. And Douglas, I think, sliced that one a bit on the wet surface maybe. McAllister wins it off Payton. It's James Grady for Morton. And James Grady could have made it 2 goals in 2 games into his Morton career. 1-on-1 with Douglas. And he stuck it past the post. Another warning for Dundee. They could have found themselves 2 down in the first half for the second consecutive game. Jenkins nods it backwards. Comes off Gratian. who gets it out to Weatherston. Payton's going with him. Knocks it inside Payton. Now McAllister. Payton gives it away to Jenkins. And now McGregor. Plenty of options in the Dundee area. Now Jenkins and back to McGregor. Taking their time. Picking their options. And McEwen goes down. And Payton has injured himself there. He had to slide in to knock the ball away from McAllister. A scream of agony though from Eric Payton as he slid in for that. And could this yet be more injury worries for Dundee? You heard the scream. I think he was sliding in. Had to slide in though. McAllister was loitering with intent in that Dundee area. And not good news for Dundee with the sight of the dreaded stretcher coming out. They're all bad things at the moment. Well, in the end, Payton deciding not to be taken off in a stretcher, having to be guided off by two teammates and a physio though, Ludo and Williams helping him off. Not standing on that leg. It's his left leg giving him the bother, but more injury concerns for Dundee. Throw and taken, McAllister. Couldn't get past Dakan. Now Davidson gets turned in the end. And McAllister sliding in from behind. Referee says McAllister got the ball. Now McGregor. And Gratian. McAllister's got plenty of space on the far side. But ball runs out. And almost hits Eric Payton down there. He's still getting treatment. And Payton wants to continue. McAllister. And McAllister runs inside. Decides to knock it out to Finlayson. Up against O'Brien. Now McGregor. Payton's back on. McAllister nods it on. And Douglas claims it under no challenge. So then, despite the sight of the stretcher, Eric Payton, he's back on. We'll see how he gets on. O'Brien hits it against McGregor. Now Dakan. McGuffey was taking his time about it. Dodds. Courier's got it. Poshnak. Shimin sliding in. Good interception again. Now Poshnak steps inside, goes for goal. Curling, but over the bar from Chris Poshnak. He's already got one goal this season in his short Dundee career. Getting a consolation goal in a defeat to Queen of the South. Five minutes to go until the halftime whistle. Payton seems to be over his injury. He's walking fine at the moment. We'll see how he's at halftime. No real obvious defensive options on the bench for Dundee, so they'll be hoping he can battle through. And McEwen stumbling backwards. Finlayson's taking advantage. He's got 2 Dundee defenders with him. Comes off Finlayson in the end. Williams wins that particular battle. And McEwen fires that into the back of Poshnak. And Finlayson didn't really think about that, just decided to knock it forward in the hope of something happening. I'm not sure if he knew what. And Douglas. She means let it go. Poshnak. Plenty of space here for Dakan. Up against McAllister. Steps inside. Left footed. And Poshnak took it away from Courier. Poshnak again. And McGregor. Dodds back to Williams. Davidson's there, so is Gratian. Plenty advantage in there, Gratian has. Now McAllister, he can certainly take it forward. And Weatherston. Poshnak trying to give him some jip, but well, Williams has given it away to him again, but covers up his own mistake. And then McGuffey concedes a free kick. O'Brien. And Davidson knocks the ball out. So it's going to be Gratian. Long ball to nobody. Straight through to Douglas. And aiming for Courier. Up against Smith this time. Smith wins the header. Payton sticking his head in against McAllister. Loses out. Jenkins. Now here's Finlayson. McAllister couldn't get turns. Poshnak comes away with it. McAllister's not giving him time though. McEwen, possibly a bit short for McEwen. Grady was running in, but Douglas alive. Comes out to McAllister. Now here's Weatherston. Twisting and turning. Lays it off to McGuffey with a strike. And over the bar. But again, Dundee, the cause of their own downfall there. McEwen with a short back pass. And McGuffey again providing the goal threat. 5 goals for Morton this season. And Douglas over the free kick here. Goal kick, sorry. Davy Fowle shouting instructions at his defence. Courier wanted the free kick, claiming Sheeman was all over him. No free kick. Smith. Williams has to watch out for Weatherston behind him. Knocks it into the near stand. Weatherston giving him bother all the way. Smith gets the ball over. Plenty of space on that far side. Fires it in McAllister. Sorry, it was Finlayson it was with the strike. Douglas though, good save, low down with his feet. But Finlayson had acres of space and acres of time to size up that cross ball and really get a good connection on it. Only the legs of Douglas. Saving Dundee. It's Finlayson. McAllister with the ball in. Knocked out of that danger area by McEwen. Comes to Jenkins, who clearly doesn't do that very often. Ball miles over the bar, and got 2 balls on the pitch. Referee just takes the other one off on that far side. Courier wins the header against Sheeman this time. Smith knocks it back to Cuthbert. And McEwen fires his feet through that. Goes all the way through to Cuthbert again. Courier not giving Cuthbert the time to waste before the half-time whistle here. I'll be coming shortly here at Capello. Jenkins. Back to Smith. Smith. Payton and McAllister both going for this. Payton playing well, and McAllister's had his arm round Payton there, but play on. Smith wins a header against Davidson. Grady coming back. Douglas. The long ball through. Shimin wins it. Nobody on that near side. It's going to be a Morton throw-in. Courier holds off Shimin. Comes to Poshnak. Now Davison tries to get turned but couldn't. Jenkins. Now Finlayson. Looking for options. McGuffey's there. Dundee have won it though. Now Poshnak. Courier's got space. Decides to go to the side with Payton. Now Dakan. He's got space also. Coming forward. Davidson. Ball just bounces up there off the foot of Davidson. Dakan's running in. And he's giving away a free kick, Freddie Dakan. Tugging the shirt. Finlayson wins it. Jenkins back to Finlayson. And Finlayson, not sure if he knew where his strikers were there. Douglas claims it easily. Smith wins it. McKeown knocks it forward. Courier's holding off Gratian. Shimin wins it though. Malone. Poshnak looks for Dodds out wide up against McGregor. Ryan Dodds. And Malone just knocks it up into the Greenock sky. Come back to, it's half time. Morton lead 1-0 at the break. Weatherston with the goal. Ball cannoned off Darren Williams. Grady it was running through. Douglas had to be alive. But in being alive, he left an open goal for Peter Weatherston to pick his spot. Dundee have had a few chances. Curling strike from Poshnak. But at half time, Dundee are a goal down again. Morton 1, Dundee 0.
Both teams ready to kick off here at Capello Park. The referee not. He's ready now after taking a wee comfort break. So then Dundee 1-0 down at half-time here at Capello. However, they did win from behind here last season. Goals from Courier and Derek Lyle that day. Jim McAllister scored for Morton in April last year as well, but he's not on the score sheet today. Peter Weatherston with the opening goal. But cause for hope for Dundee then. Weatherston. Back to McAllister. Payton seems to be over that knock he took in the first half. Looked serious at the time, but he seems all right. Weatherston tries to knock it through for Grady. Payton intercepts it though, not giving the former Dundee man a chance. Payton with a throw in. Now Jenkins knocks it long, looking for Payton, who's knocked it high into the sky. Now Davidson gets turned, but two Morton midfielders there, Jenkins and Gratian. Weatherston lets the ball run. Williams is struggling to cope with him, but combination of him and McEwen gets the ball away in the end. Poshnak lets it go for Weatherston, who fires it off Williams. First corner of this second half. Morton immediately on the front foot again. It's going to be McAllister. With his corner kick, Finlayson was giving him a short option. Went away, he's come back. Into the box though, Douglas punches it out. Under pressure there. When fires come off Morton head, it's going to be a goal kick. Courier possibly got a push in the back there from Gratian. Now Smith coming over the halfway line for Morton. Now McAllister. And Payton sliding in, nips the ball away. And McGuffey back to Smith. And Payton's not that down the field. Shimeen's there. Has to get the ball away before Davidson comes through, and Cuthbert gets it away again. Ball's broken loose to McAllister. And foul there against Dakan by McGuffey. Bit of a controversial decision. I thought Dakan brought down McGuffey, but the referee's given it the other way. Dakan stayed down though, possibly getting a knock, but play on. And Williams fires it into the box. McAllister, now Poshnak. Malone fires it into Jenkins. Dodds misses the header, comes through to Davidson. Dodds has it back. Now Payton. He's got McAllister and McGuffey out there. Comes inside, here's Davidson. Courier tries to lay the ball off to Davidson, trying to link up, but two of them not on the same wavelength. Grady into Weatherston. And Weatherston tried to knock it back down to Grady, and now Morton showing a good example there of what the
Dundee strikers aren't doing at the moment. Not linking up. Malone. The ball forward, and Davison having to run onto it against Gratian. And Gratian decides safety first again. Davidson and couldn't find Malone again. Again, the Dundee defence and attack not quite on the same wavelength. Weatherston fires it on. Courier didn't jump with Jenkins. Grady works it out. Plenty of space for McAllister on the far side. He's kept it in. Payton and Dakan trying to give him a problem. McGuffey lays it off to McAllister. Jenkins. Back out to Smith. He aims it long, looking for Weatherston. The flag's gone up on the near side. Offside, but referee acknowledges the flag. We're playing on. And Poshnak nips in. And Finlayson judged to foul the Canadian. Malone looks for now McGuffey out to McAllister. Took a little slip there, that'll give Payton extra time, and slides in on Payton there. No foul, but it's an offside flag. Thought it was a bit of a desperate lunge by Jim McAllister there. No foul though. Courier tries to nod it on, can get there. Davidson, Smith with him on the far side, tries to get the ball in, comes off Smith, and Shimin knocks it away. Really driving rain now. Hardest it's been during the match, harder than the first half certainly. Dakan. Dodds. Malone now. And he's nearly getting the ball through to Courier. Malone. Weatherston knocks it on, and Poshnak knocks that out off McGuffey. So Eddie Malone looking for some long options from the throne. And Davison possibly held back, playing on though. And Davison's wanting back off Shimin. Now trying to give him some problems. Poshnak's giving him the option though. Payton now. Dakan's further out. McAllister's giving Payton a challenge. Now it's Dodds. Back out to Payton. Dundee gradually being forced back, and McAllister slides in to nip the ball away. Coming forward now, Morton, and he sets it into the back of James Grady, and Dundee get away lucky that time. O'Brien, and he's tussling with the ball, and O'Brien's won a free kick off McGregor, taken quickly. Davidson, and Poshnak, and Courier back to Poshnak, looking for wide options again. Dundee. Eric Payton gets the ball in the box, headed away. Grady trying to make the referee's mind up for him there. Play the whistle though. Swung in, and Cuthbert claims it. Finlayson. looking for an option. Smith. Now McAllister, giving Dundee plenty of problems down this far side in the second half. Coming forward again. And he's got a trickery, McAllister. Got himself away from challenge of Poshnak and Payton. Eventually winning the throw-in off Dakan. Throw in taken. And swung into the box and knocked away. And Davison keeps it in on the far side. Smith to Shimin. Little chip ball from Shimin looking for McAllister. He's found him. Payton's with him in the corner. He's got the ball across though. McAllister, and Malone knocks it away. Shimin going with Courier again. And Morton again. Not giving Dundee a chance on the ball. Smith elects to throw it back all the way to Cuthbert. McGregor turns his towards his own goal there as O'Brien ran in him. Malone looking for options. Davidson's there. Finlayson wins it off him though. Courier nods it on, and O'Brien trying to give Shimin a challenge. Shimin though comfortable on the ball, finds McGregor in space. And McEwen possibly he is fouled by Weatherston. He's lost the boot in the process, Craig McEwen. Weatherston all over the back of him. Malone. Now Williams. Shimin slides in ahead of Davidson, and Dundee back all the way in their own area with Robert Douglas again. Not finding any opportunities in this Morton half. Shimin wins the header. And Smith fires it away. Got a break and play here for Craig McEwen, who still hasn't got his boots tied up following that tussle with Weatherston. And the Morton fans complaining on the far side about the position of the throw-in. They go for it though, and Payton. Smith wins a header against Dakan. Weatherston. And O'Brien showing a bit of a drive about him to get back to win the ball. And Malone looking long for Courier, who doesn't go for it in the end. And Davison's there against Shimin, and Shimin had enough strength about him. And James Grady's won it with and the referee's given a penalty here. Well, Williams turns his back on the ball. And as Grady ran through, judged to foul him, couldn't see it from a position here. James Grady was blocking the view, but Williams and McEwen having an argument between them. Whose responsibility was it to clear the ball? And they're going to agree to disagree. It's going to be Ryan McGuffey with the penalty kick. It doesn't matter about the handball anymore. Half an hour to go. It could almost be curtains for Dundee if McGuffey scores from the spot. It's going to be McGuffey. And he scores! Well, it's a long road back now for Dundee. 2-0 down here at Capello. Half an hour to play. Again, the questions in the defence. Williams and McEwen having words between them. It was Williams though who turned his back on the ball, allowed Grady to run through between himself and McEwen. And in the process, one of them handled it. And it's 2-0 from the penalty spot. McGuffey with the penalty goal. The caretaker boss, Davy Farrell, will be looking to the bench now. Because the boys on the pitch don't seem to have it in them. 2-0 down, obviously, to get a 1 goal, let alone 2. Payton standing over the free kick. James Grady's about 2 yards away from the ball. A bit further back now. Payton swings it in. And McEwen was going up there. Shimmin knocks it away. Finlayson keeps it in. Payton's giving him a challenge. And down in that far corner we can't see from here. Just the angle of the stands. And the numerous pillars. Weatherston knocks it on to Grady. Fires it into McEwen. And they've gone all the way back to Douglas again. Courier battling with Gratian, but neither Courier or O'Brien could get the ball. And Courier appealing for a free kick off the ref. The referee tells him to keep his eyes on the play. McEwen, safety first against Grady. It's going to be a throw into Morton on this near side. McGregor looks for the options long. Weatherston giving him one. Malone wins it. Ball runs through to Courier, comes off his shin and loses out. Now Dodds battling with McGregor. And Shimmin fires it into McGregor. It's going to be a throw into Dundee. Tries to take it quickly, Malone, but the ball just got away from him. Malone looking for Davidson long. Now Williams fires it into Courier, who's got the strength to hold up the ball. And Davidson fires it into McGregor, who knocks the ball long away on the far side. Good strength shown by Courier. Finally managed to hold up the ball and giving the Dundee midfielders a chance to run onto it. Davidson it was who fired in the shot. Grady looks for the run of Weatherston here. Williams is going with him. And this time makes a decision. Gratian's not at the back. Shimmin's wow. I thought for a second that Davidson was in. McEwen will have to keep his eyes on it as Grady's running back, but Douglas also with his eyes on it. Douglas knocks it long. Backhand chests it down, but the only man there is Jenkins. He's got Finlayson outside him. Here he is. Back to McGregor now. Knocked into the box. Grady couldn't win the ball against McEwen. Now McAllister. And Jenkins. Now Shimmin. Courier giving him a chase. Forcing him to go back to Cuthbert. And Cuthbert knocks it long again. McAllister's running onto it. And he's got there. Payton couldn't win it off him. He's got the ball into the box, McAllister, and Grady couldn't get on it. And it's going to be a goal kick to Dundee. But McAllister again showing pace to get on to the end of what seemingly was a lost cause. And getting the ball in the box. And giving the Dundee defence a test that the Dundee attack just doesn't seem to be giving Morton at the moment. Malone. And Shimmin knocks it away. And again out to McAllister. Up against Dakan here. Likes to go inside. Finds Grady, who tried to lay it off to Weatherston, but got his angles a bit wrong there. And now Dakan can come away with it. Davidson. Took a bit too long over that one. Smith knocks it away. Now Payton. Poshnak for Dundee. And Courier running through, and Shimin read that one and intercepted it. Dodds. Jenkins giving a challenge. Williams getting himself into a bit of trouble again with Grady. Pulling him back, but Williams comes forward with the ball. Now O'Brien, back to Davidson. Malone. And Courier's possibly being held though. Gets away with it and takes a strike at goal. And Courier, possibly his first attempt at goal in the game. And apologising to everyone in the grounds. Possibly a bit of frustration from Courier. He's been holding the ball up, trying to hold the ball up a couple of times for the rest of the Dundee attack. No one's been able to get onto it. Possibly worth a crack himself. Didn't get anywhere near it though. Cuthbert knocks it long. Williams up with it. Weatherston gets it away. And over the head of Williams again. And Douglas fires it away. Jenkins wins the header. Now McGuffey up. Score of that second goal for Morton today. And Malone, long, headed out, and McGuffey. And then McGregor locks it long. Williams put under pressure again from Grady, who's offside. But Williams, he's not the tallest himself, but Grady, the shortest man on the pitch, winning the header against one of the Dundee central defenders. McEwen tries to find Courier, but Gratian heads it away. Now Poshnak. O'Brien. Back to Malone. Courier's in the box. Bit too strong for Courier. And Smith's sliced it, and it's going to go out on the far side. Throw into Dundee down near that corner flag. Not visible from the position here. Dodds, a little back heel. And tries to get it back, but he's offside, Dodds. So it's going to be a free kick to Morton. To be Cuthbert with the goal kick, fired along all the way down the pitch. McEwen holds off the challenge and gets it away. Courier again with arms all around his back. And the long ball here, and McEwen's in a bit of bother with Weatherston. Wins the header though, McEwen. Dodds though decides to put us back under pressure before getting it away. And there was a flag up on the near side for offside. Both the Morton attackers shrugging their shoulders. Not sure which one it was that was actually offside. Couple of bizarre offside decisions given this game by both linesmen. Douglas aiming for Courier. Courier gets ahead on it. It's flicked through, but it's gone right out for a goal kick, and possibly a change coming up from Dundee. Gulhaney coming across. Looking for a bit more trickery from the winger. Cuthbert aims for the Morton attack again. Finlayson knocks it inside. McGuffey's running in from midfield, but McEwen saw him coming. And now Courier tries to give Shimin a challenge, but Shimin, safety first, knocks it out. You wonder why Williams or McEwen between them couldn't have done that in the first half. Sorry, for the penalty kick it was. It was in the second half. Now Gulhaney, who will come on. It's going to be Freddie Dackham to come off. Muted applause for Freddie. Full of running in the first half, Freddie, but just hasn't been able to get into it in the second half. O'Brien's going to switch over to the right wing. Gilhaney on the left. Davidson back down to Malone. And Finlayson's missed it. Dodds. Gilhaney knocks it in, and McGregor gets it away. Malone couldn't find anyone with that. Knock back in. And McEwen a poor ball, but he's got lucky because O'Brien's come back to win it. Up against McAllister, and Smith with a brilliant sliding challenge in the wet. Takes the ball right out from the feet of Davidson. Courier, possibly a little push, but play on. Jenkins holding off Davidson. Looking for the run of Grady here. McEwen, though, thought he had it, but Grady wins it. Now Morton aiming for Weatherston, and Williams with a clear signal for Douglas to come out and claim that. Poshnak up with McGuffey. Now Dodds. McGuffey wins it on both occasions. Here's Williams. Fires it long, looking for Davidson. Poor first touch. That's Finlayson to get in. Weatherston flicks it onto Grady. Back to Weatherston. And they've worked it all the way outside on that far side to McAllister. Just a bit too far this time. But the Morton attack showing what the Dundee attack should be doing. There's a foul given for the challenge by Poshnak. It is possibly about 20 minutes to go in this second half. And Dundee will be hoping that whoever it is that comes in, possibly during the week, can pick this team up from its 8th game without a win. If, of course, the scoreline stays the same. Smith knocks it into Weatherston. Williams uses his head to get it away. Finlayson. McGuffey turns inside. Goes short for Grady. He works it back outside again to McGregor. Gets the ball in, looking for the challenge of Weatherston in the air. And it's headed out to play. And Payton takes the time about clearing it before eventually getting it away. It's going to be a throw in on the far side, though. Payton worms his way away from McGuffey, but McGuffey stays with him. Jenkins knocks that straight out to play on the far side for a throw in. Now Dundee trying to launch an attack. Gratian knocks it out though before it begins. Dundee again will have another chance on the throw-in. Payton steps up to take it. Courier gets away from the challenge. Comes inside and Shimmy's there to get it away. Malone. Now Gilhaney possibly getting a chance to run at Finlayson for the first time. Finlayson stays with it though. Didn't give Gilhaney the chance. Leaves a throw into Malone. Dodds giving him the option. Comes to Davidson. Now Weatherston. Little back heel to McGregor. Looking for the run of Grady, but McEwen intercepts it. McGuffey lost it. Didn't see that the ball had broken free, but the Dundee defence in the end picks itself together and wins the free kick. And referee coming across to have a word with Davy Irons. Clearly wasn't happy with that free kick decision and is going to have a few words with him. Start ticking off this time perhaps for Davy Irons. Williams with the free kick. Courier couldn't get it on. Comes to Poshnak. Now Payton. And intercepted that little ball through. Grady fires it out to Jenkins on the far side. Now inside to McAllister. Grady giving support in the box now. Weatherston's there. And Williams knocks it away before Douglas could slide in. Douglas not happy with Williams. Douglas thought he had it. Comes off Malone there. McAllister thought he had a throw in, well he does. McGuffey giving him an option here for Jim McAllister. In the end goes for Grady. Back to McAllister. Back to Grady. Now McAllister comes inside and Williams couldn't win that, and Finlayson goes for the strike and it's well wide. Williamson went for the inception because nobody else was, and Finlayson was all by himself and took the strike first time. Possible at the time there, Finlayson to take a touch. Went for it first time, no. McEwen. Shimon gets his foot around Davidson to win it. Courier's got the ball now though, holding off Finlayson. Now Bob Davison goes down under the challenge, but referee says he won the ball. Now he's McGuffey coming forward. And there's nobody up there this time. McAllister's been chasing a lot of lost causes in this game for Morton. That one just a bit too lost a cause. Dodds twists away from Jenkins. And McEwen for the long ball again. Shimeen again there. It looks solid for Morton. Dominic Shimeen in that defence. Stuart Gratian as well. Haven't given the Dundee attack anything. Payton swings it in and Courier's header comes off Gratian. Courier shows strength and McAllister completes the clearance. McKeon fires it in quickly to Payton. Little chip ball looking for Poshnak at the far post, headed down. Davison twisting and turning, but he's given handball. Dundee finally getting a bit of space in the box, but Davison just couldn't control the ball and it bounced up off himself and into his arm. Cuthbert out in the near side to Weatherston, who flicks the ball on and has ran all the way through. Douglas won't waste the time with the goal kick. He's going to try and get play started straight away. Just under 10 minutes to go. For Dundee to snatch 2 goals, it would be a point. Malone looks for options. Goes for Courier in the end. Gratian wins the header. Weatherston brings the ball down. And now Jenkins can run forward. He's got McAllister outside him. Goes back to Smith. And Williams wins it, but he lost it again and got the ball trapped under his own feet there, Williams. Knocked long by Douglas. Smith just got a glancing header on that, but it was enough to take it away from Dodds. And now is fired long. Gratian again wins the header. McEwen, the ball, I thought it was over the Morton defence this time. Shimeen. And Williams has possibly let it go a bit loose, and Weatherston ran onto it and gave him a challenge on another day. Could have won the ball off Williams. Gilhaney with a miscue. Fired into Morton player. Now Finlayson. Williams intercepts it, but he's let it go loose, and it's going to be a Morton throw-in. Morton push up the pitch. Finlayson holds off Malone. Now McGregor, left-footed. And Payton gets the ball away, but McAllister's there to pick up the scraps again. And is fouled by Payton there, McAllister. He tried to stay on his feet, but ended up just crawling along the ground. So Morton with the chance from the free kick. Goes for goal. The wall does his job. Possibly the wall broke a bit early, but the referee says play on. Now Dodds. And Finlayson coming back, won the ball off Dodds, who just took a bit too long over his decision making. It's possibly just been the story of the game. Morton fighting a bit hard for every ball, coming back, winning the ball. And the solid defensive partnership of Shimeen and Gratian hasn't given the Dundee attack anything to live off. And that's why it's 2-0 to Morton. Payton lining up a long throw here. Well, decides to go short to Davidson. Back to Payton. McAllister not giving him the chance. And Payton twisting and turning, but no Dundee players gave him support. And Morton can come forward again. McGuffey. And McAllister to Smith. And Davidson, McCurry is making a run, but not given. And now Dodds has a bit of space. Picks the ball through to Courier, but Gratian again intercepting it. Reading the game well. Payton. And Dodds again has space to pick a pass. Coming to the near side with Malone. Gilhaney's giving him an option here. Malone decides to knock it into the box. Gratian sticks his head in there, showing good bravery. And it's gone loose. Dundee have a chance in the throw in here. It's Malone. Davidson looking for an option. Couldn't get turns. It's Gilhaney. McGregor comes across, and Poshnak was running into that cross by Gilhaney. Grady nods it down to Weatherston. Gilhaney was going in for it. Weatherston won it, but Dodds has picked up the loose ball. Now Williams. Long looking for Courier, who won the ball. And Courier shows his frustration. Hasn't had much cross balls to live off, and when he has, Gratian's won it off him. Or Shimeen. Or any other Morton defender that's just had a bit more fight about him. Smith coming forward. Here's Grady. Oh, and just tried to pick a ball through to Weatherston. There's plenty of space in behind the Dundee defence there, and thankfully the Dundee defence managed to block it out. Otherwise it would have been 3-0 and curtains. As it is, it's probably curtains already. Here's Dodds to Davidson. Twisting past Gratian. It's Courier, back to Davidson. It's got Paytonites there on the far side. Now O'Brien. He hasn't had much joy, O'Brien, since he switched over to that far side. Wins the throw in here. Back to Payton. Now Dodds. And the Morton defence again stepping out, clearing the ball. Williams with Douglas, and Williams decides to head it back to Douglas when he was outside his area. Dodds. Courier trying to flick a little ball through for Davidson. You saw what he's trying there. Trying to look for him to run onto it. Doesn't come off again. Morton supporters are starting to trickle away. They think the 3 points are won. Douglas. Knocked long for Davidson. Shimeen though wins it. McEwen. And McEwen left it to Payton. He wasn't expecting it, and McAllister picks it up. Now Weatherston out to Jenkins. It's got 3 Morton attackers in the box. Weatherston tries to backheel it into the goal. Possibly a showboating cost him a chance of a goal. Finlayson. Now Smith. And Jenkins. Now McAllister. And just Gratian. And Williams is going to have a challenge here from Weatherston for the ball. Williams chooses the safety option. And Gilhaney gets the ball under his feet and it's gone out for throwing on the near side. See a substitution by Morton just in the last minute. It's going to be Brian Wake to come on for them. And Peter Weatherston it is who comes off. Scored his second goal of the season in the first half. And his job's done. 2-0. And also a double substitution for Dundee. Eddie Mearns and Brian Deasley, the 2 men on. David O'Brien coming off. And in fact, I don't think Eddie Mearns has come on. Possibly saving the... Oh no, Eddie Mearns is on. Dodd's the man who came off. Just a quick scout around. Malone. Courier flicks it on. Davidson. Finds a little ball through to Courier, who's onside. Cuthbert's coming forward and slides in and wins the ball off the feet of Courier. And his 3 balls find the Morton defence again. Here's Grady going through. Douglas just got his hands on the ball to deny James Grady. And Finlayson fouls Malone. Now Gilhaney. Dundee defence running forward again. Here's Deasley who's offside. Frantic period of play there. James Grady had the opportunity to make it his second goal. And it would have been a sweet goal as well against his former club. Douglas got down low, denying James Grady. And again at the other end, Courier just not quite quick enough. Cuthbert off his line quickly, sliding in, getting the ball away from Courier. Malone's going to let that run out of play behind Finlayson, and the 2 of them have gone down. Douglas knocks it long and headed out. Wake gets it on. And now Grady's looking for the runner. Jenkins, I think it is. McGregor knocks it on. Now Mearns. Heads it on. Davidson looking for Poshnak to step forward. He gets it to Courier. He's got Deasley making a run inside. Courier goes himself. And Courier just finds the arms of Chris Cuthbert. But that is the first save Chris Cuthbert has made. It's a shame it's coming in the 90th minute when they're already 2-0 up. Deasley. He's got the run of Mearns to look for. Here's Eddie Mearns now. McGuffey slides in. Slides the ball out to play. There's Poshnak. And Deasley going to give Smith... Make Smith play it. And it's gone out. That's Payton. Running forward, McAllister wins it though. McAllister's had a great game in that Morton attack. Poshnak lays it off to Mearns. Now Wake. Knocked forward for Grady. Holds off the challenger Williams, and just not quite keeping the ball under control in the process. Now Davidson. And Davidson just finds the feet of Finlayson. He's coming forward here, Kevin Finlayson. Malone eventually gave him a challenge and wins the ball. Malone now can try and set up a Dundee attack. Gilhaney up against McGregor. Decides to go on the left foot. Low cross in, intercepted by Gratian. Gilhaney's got it back though. Runs inside. Now Deasley could go for a strike himself here. Decides to lay it off to Malone. Steps inside. Now Deasley again. Dundee attack is lining up in the box. Chips over to the far post, and Curry is there, who flicks it back inside, and Cuthbert, the only man Curry could find with that knocked back into the box. Flick down, Wake. Couldn't win the challenge against Williams. Malone. Now Davidson, who's gone down under the challenge of Gratian. And Davidson's gone down holding his leg. Staying down, Bob Davison. And I think Bob Davison will be alright. Just limping, but playing on for the last couple of minutes here at Capello. Gilhaney's going to try and swing it in. McEwen's up from the back. And it's going to be McEwen. And rather tame header just rolls behind for a goal kick to Morton. The referee checking the watch again. Morton fans showing their appreciation. It's been a great display by the Morton team today. Well, similarly, it's also been a Dundee attack lacking the decisive input. Wake's offside. Just lacking the cutting edge Dundee that you think that team going for promotion should have. Should be able to score goals. And Douglas with that knock up the park. It's made it full time. A goal in either half for Morton then. One in the first half from Weatherston. After Douglas came sliding out the box to deny Grady, he knocked it into the back of the net, Weatherston. And then the second half, a penalty goal from Ryan McGuffey. Darren Williams and Craig McEwen couldn't decide between them which one to get away. One of them handled the ball in the process, and McGuffey dispatched the penalty kick. It's 8 games without a win now for Dundee. Whoever it is that comes in will have the challenge of turning it around. It's Morton 2, Dundee 0.